Hi, folks, this is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Voice is coming through good and clear. And we got a lot talked about tonight. And I'll play a little video while people are coming in. And we'll see how good my transmission is. So, cut my mic off and let her rip. Here we go. Wait a second. Whoa, that's not right there.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation. But the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
That's a good video. I like that video. Man, they're hitting from... What did Trump say he was going to do? It's going to hit them from the top, from the bottom, from the front, from the center, from the right, from the left. Hit them right in the effing middle. Yeah, one of the few times he used that word. So, anyway, that's what's going on, and the media can't keep up with it. They don't want to keep up with it because they want to keep up the narrative of poor children who will get separated from their parents. Oh, my goodness. And whatever else they can talk about to ignore the massive change that's coming. I've got on my thumbnail, Boom Week. We were told there was Boom Week coming, and we're in the middle of it right now. So, hi, KNS Cleanup. How you doing? Is that you up at the top there? The top part is blocked. Yeah, it's KNS Cleanup. Hi, Sherry. Robin, how you doing? Sissy. Debbie. Nice to see you. Let's see. Rubber Toe. Hi, Wanda. Wayne. Wayne gave me a thumbs up. Darla's here. George is here. David to George. How you doing? Debbie King. We got two Debbies. Devin's here. Todd's here. All right. Well, it's nice to see you all, and I hope everything is going well. And we're coming on the tail end of this deep freeze. I have a little bit of a raspy voice because it's hard to breathe that cold air. You know how it goes. So anyway, I had this article the other day, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it, so I'll put it up. Schumer secretly met with Joe Biden, urging him to drop out of the race. 2024 race, 1 hour before the attempt on Mr. T. So that's from the Gateway Pundit. The Gateway Pundit, isn't it? Well, let me see that name on there. Christina Layla. And so just put things in context for people. They can come up with what they want, think what they want. And I've got a number of things. I'm going to have to go out of the studio to get a clip I want to play for you all, but I'll let you know when I do that in case I drop off when I do that. And if I do, I will boot up and come back on. So anyway, let's see. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Yvonne's here. Gary said, ha ha, that's right, ha ha. Oh, a lot of big things going on. So let me see what I got lined up picture-wise that I've already sized up. I hope my voice is coming through steady. Let's see. Where is that? Oh, my goodness. That look you get when your husband is about to destroy the people that raided your underwear drawer. And look at over here on the right. People shouldn't be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of their people. And you see Princess Di wearing a very similar outfit, wouldn't you say? But you know what? I was looking at this picture of Princess Di. And do you all notice anything unsettling? And I don't know. I don't know what the... I'm sure I could find pictures of Jackie O with her with a similar hat, you know. Hi, Jackie. Nice to see you. Yeah, thank goodness for President Trump. Hi, Melinda. But anyway, what I'm noticing about Princess Di, I don't see anybody say anything in chats, so I'll point it out. This thing on her shoulder, what is that? It has two eyes, it appears. It's too uncomfortably like that symbol we saw on the running suit that Ellen the Degenerate had on and different things like that. The red face, you see it there? Two dark eyes and a red face. I don't know what that symbolizes. I don't know when the picture was taken. I don't know if it means anything. But I don't know everything then, do I? So that's why we have the interwebs, so people can pass these kinds of things around, and maybe people can come up with their own notions. That's what I was afraid of, Todd, David, Wanda, Wilson. It's not exactly like it. And I don't even know if that movie was even made when this picture was taken of Princess Di. Right, Debbie? Was the movie even made? But it does stand out starkly, doesn't it? Hi, Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you. I want to thank everybody that helped this week with buying me a coffee. Pappy Two Bears and Mike and Bev, Norm, Gary, and Ann. We're coming into the last week of the month already. My goodness. Things are going to go very fast. Things are going to go very fast with all the changes that are going on. Since the mainstream media doesn't want to report on stuff, and they want to stay hung up on the people they feel didn't deserve pardons from J6 and children at the border, and they want to ignore the momentous changes that are going on right now, the big booms, the Pentagon's getting shaken up, Department of Homeland Security's getting shaken up, the entire federal government's getting shaken up. We've got these judges resisting what Trump is doing with his pardons. One, Judge Beryl Howell in particular, I was hearing where she put out an 8-page tome when all she's got to do is dismiss the cases under a pardon, and there you go, with prejudice, which means they can never be brought up again. But no, her and Judge Chutkin and you name it, whoever's involved in these January 6 cases are making it difficult and trying to make it complicated and talking about how wonderful the Capitol Police were and how horrible the people who have been arrested are. And in some cases, they're dismissing them without prejudice, namely something that's going to have to be appealed to a higher court. So anyway, that and dozens of other things that are happening as a result of Donald Trump's efforts and actions, hitting like lightning bolts all not only around D.C. but all around the world. And we'll talk about as much as we can get done in an hour and a half or so. And also some of the things people may have forgotten about, like what is a boom week? What does that mean? I guess, and we try to figure out what these things mean ourselves. So we have that hideous creature that conducted her service, okay? And Trump is put out a statement that she needs to apologize, and she really does. I mean, this is a National Cathedral. I meant to do a little checking in on that. What is that all about? Who are these? Do they rotate pastors, priests, or whatever? Or was this person plopped in there just to be? She's donated to the Obama camp. I've seen a video where she was demanding Trump be removed. Well, I'll show you what I got on some of that. But here you got, they'll hollow out your religion and wear it as a skin suit. And there's a and walking with a scepter. Talk about the smoke of Satan that's gotten into our National Cathedral. And this should not be permitted. The schism in the Episcopalian Church needs to be, they got to pick a side. I mean, that's between Europe and the U.S. Churches. And they need to get some balance in their church, or just be out of the conversation. Because with the majority of faiths, where you have what's called a cathedral or a church, her beliefs and what she's pushing does not comport with the vast majority of other faiths. So they're getting called out on it. On my thumbnail, I've got a picture of the rainbow flag ablaze, and that is by their own doing, okay? Like that L.A. article in the L.A. paper said, DEI is on fire. You got that right. DEI is on fire. So here's another picture I got of her. Guess what she's doing? Let me see. Let me find. Oh, here she is. Huh? There you go. New World Order. The New World Order. And that is inside a cathedral, okay? That should never be permitted. Never be permitted. Here you have where Trump, they put it with Newsweek. Now you see, he did meet pass by and acknowledge her, and she can't even look him in the eye. But Trump demands Bishop apologize after her call for mercy. Remember what we've said many times. Mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. cruelty to the innocent. And she's promoting transgenderism, and we won't get into the, at least not in this discussion right now, the psychological and physical damage that causes young people across the country. This person should be ashamed of themselves, and that church needs to reconcile with its own faith, and it's just that simple. Here, we talked about this yesterday. Clump of cells dies at 67. This is from the Babylon Bee. That's the founder of Planned Parenthood, right? Kind of reminds me when the ex-CEO of this platform we're on passed away within 48 hours of the assassination attempt on Trump. It's strange how these things happen, isn't it? But I guess she coined that term, clump of cells. And all the things that are going on, I think one of the things that Trump is going to do is check into this business of selling body parts. Okay? That is a morbid, monstrous crime, selling body parts bad enough that they finagle their way into having these procedures paid for by the American people. That's not what we get up and go to work for every day. That's for sure. Trump put this up. A repost from, I don't know, this was probably 2 years ago. He put it up. He put it up again. And no, who's the big daddy from Cincinnati? Who's the king of the jungle? People are going to be finding out pretty soon. Hi, MS Motorsports. How you doing? Darla, Mike, nice to see you. Oh, they've drifted so far away, Pappy. It's unreal. Hi, Raven Wings. That's right, Todd. Nothing she said was biblical. People need to stop watching, think. Yeah, people get put on that hamster wheel I discussed last night, and that's how they get away with things. They distract people with bread and circuses for those who don't really have a faith. But for those that are grounded in faith, they burden them so much with fear. I discussed how anybody who makes a mistake on their tax for a little bit of time either. Okay, that's when you got control of a society. But anyway, let's have a little levity here. A little levity. And I'll cut my mic off. So let me see. Can you get everybody's reaction to this? This is her preaching and everybody's reaction to it.
I'm also a lesbian, and I'm vegan. Meat is murder. Cows fart, and the climate changes. I voted for Kamala. And Tampon Tim. I loved Tampon Tim. He seemed like a great guy who probably does wear tampons. Also, Mexicans are great gardeners, and they're cheap. Please don't deport my gardener, Juan. He's so affordable. I know I'm lesbian, but he's also kind of hot. I get confused sometimes. Like right now, when I see President Trump, I know I'm supposed to hate him like CNN told me to. But he's also kind of hot. He's even hotter than Juan. Mucho caliente.
Look at the look on everybody's faces. But anyway, so we do a little spoof with it, have a little fun with it. Well, St. John's Church is what they tried to burn down, that they caught on fire, actually. And this is the National Cathedral. You know, I'm not an expert on what's what there in where the churches are. I think the National Cathedral is different from the St. John's Church. But St. John's, I believe, is an Episcopal church. And there's a certain pew there that George Washington attended church in on the day of his inauguration. And they have it marked off. And anyway, here is the video that I was talking about Catherine Herridge, because we're going to see things build to a crescendo, I think. We've got all these attorneys who are planning actions to stymie Trump. We've got the Democrats talking about slowing down his cabinet picks and his nominations. They're going to try to throw everything in his way that's possible. And some time is of the essence. I have in my title. That is a term usually used in contract law. But Mr. T wants to get things done on Trump time. This stuff has been gone over not only by the top attorneys and constitutional scholars in the country, but I am sure reviewed by members of JAG, okay? And but anyway, here's Catherine Herridge. She put this video out.
We're on our way to get home.
I'm traveling this week to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. We've just arrived at the airport, and now we're taking the ferry over to Camp Justice. That's home to the military trials and the military courts. Of course, the big case is the 9/11 prosecution. There is so much secrecy around this entire base. There are a lot of things that we would like to show you, but they're off limits. They're restricted for national security reasons. And what's striking to me is that so many Americans don't even realize that the detention camps are still open. The military trials have still not concluded. And I just felt it was time to check in again for Americans to really see what was happening there.
As the Trump administration begins its first 100 days in office, we are at Guantanamo Bay and we'll be reporting from here at Camp Justice. We'll be inside the courtrooms. We'll have updates on the status of the military trials as well as the detention camps. This new administration is going to have to make some hard choices about the future of this operation.
So we're going to be keeping an eye on Catherine Herridge. Camp Justice had a YMCA in Camp Justice. Camp Justice is pretty big. Diane. And I had a picture of it here. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Springfield College Archives had a postcard there, you know, where maybe that's why Mr. T picked that as his theme song. What do you think? What do you think? I think that could be a possibility. But, you know, I've been seeing a lot of, believe it or not, Ted Kaczynski memes. Ted Kaczynski memes. Pretty bad when leftists especially have to get some kind of grip on what's going on in this world from Ted Kaczynski. But anyway, the leftists tend to hate anything that has an image of being strong, good, and successful. They hate America. They hate Western civilization. They hate white males. They hate rationality. Ted Kaczynski, isn't that weird? I found another one. I don't know if I have it in my studio. Let me see. I have another one from Here he is. I guess a few photos they have of him before he wandered off into the solitude. The truth does not require your Terence McKenna. I'm sorry. I apologize to the memory of Terence McKenna. But anyway, the truth does not require your participation in order to exist. BS does. Speaking of apologizing, I got to get a video that I want to show you all. Because sometimes things are not as they seem. And hopefully I don't drop out of the studio as I search outside of the studio to get this video. Let us see. Okay. Here we go. You know, JFK only was inaugurated once, right? And he was only inaugurated once because he was murdered in front of the world. But anyway, I'll play this. Tell me if you guys notice anything.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
That's exactly right, folks. Kennedy did not swear on a Bible either. It's not required in the Constitution. And I don't know how many other presidents this happened with, but I may have rushed to judgment about John Roberts, although he could have allowed Trump's family to get into place. But it may have been a sign. It may have been something to say Trump is being inaugurated just like John Kennedy, and he's going to complete the work of John Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. So that is right. Hi, Mark. That is right. He has the resolute desk, JFK's desk. So I may have jumped the gun in my umbrage last night. Hi, Purple Pros. Hi, CJ 1975. It's a big deal if Trump was doing it in a honor recreation of JFK's inaugural to finish his work. What he said he would do was break the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind. Angela, how you doing? Television shows, nice to see you. So it may be something that Joshua, how you doing? That's right, Gary. Sense of humor is good medicine too. I can tell you that. And it shows intelligence. And what are we if we cannot laugh at ourselves? Right? Who said that? I don't even remember who said that. But anyway, here's Trump signing. Speaking of laughing at them and ourselves, here's Trump signing some executive orders. And he's being And you got to say, Trump has had a sense of humor. Trump has had a sense of humor. There's no doubt about that. Now, I've got where Trump put out a statement, or the Trump administration put out a statement of why they took away John Bolton's security clearance. But here is Trump's response during the press conference concerning that issue. But Bolton may have more problems. I don't believe he got a pardon from Biden.
Why did you remove John Bolton's security clearance, sir?
Because I think that was enough time. It's we take a job. You take a job. You want to do a job. We're not going to have security on people for the rest of their lives. Why should we? I thought he was a very dumb person, but I used him well because every time people saw me come into a meeting with John Bolton standing behind me, they thought that he'd attack them because he was a warmonger. He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. You know, we blew up the Middle East and we left. We got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people. And John Bolton was, one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
Yeah, 50-some of them losing it. Hi, Faith by Nature. Yeah, I love to garden. I remember you. I appreciate you coming by to see us. But anyway, let's see. Here we go. It is hard to keep these things in order, but I'm going to go over. This is a statement put out by the FCC, Federal Communications. And I believe this is a warning shot. Something's going to happen, and I'm going to predict with ABC and CBS. Okay? ABC's already got a couple of knots on their head. Just think George Slopadopoulos. The View. All right, The View is getting sued, I believe, by Melania. And somebody said something about Trish Yearwood was going to sue him. But I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, they put out this post here. In exchange for obtaining a valuable license to operate a broadcast station using the public airwaves, each radio and television, it's kind of hard to read that, license is required by law to operate its station in, quote, the public interest, convenience, and necessity. Generally, this means it must air programming that is responsive to the needs and problems of its local community. So, in other words, when you have side, okay, walking that fine line between free speech and libel, you don't need me to go over everything. Look for licenses to get yanked. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking this says. Look for licenses to start getting yanked. Or suspended. I don't know. Mike said purple. I didn't bring it up. I had it in my mind the other day. Trump was wearing a purple tie when he got sworn in. For freedom, how you doing? Purple pros. Did you all notice that Trump had a purple tie on when he got sworn in? Is that a message of goodbye to the color revolution, which we've been told is purple? a purple revolution. You know, here's another post made from the White House. Putting people over fish, stopping radical environmentalism to provide water to Southern California. So his booms are extending outside of D.C. January 20th to the Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of the Interior, putting people over fish. I hereby direct the Secretary of Commerce and Secretary of the Interior, in consultation with heads of other departments and agencies of the United States as necessary, to immediately restart the work from my first administration by the National Marine Fisheries Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Bureau of Reclamation, and other agencies to wrap more water from the Sacramento, San Joaquin Delta to other parts of the state for use by the people there who so desperately need a reliable water supply. Remember, in a state of emergency, the president has vast powers. Okay, I've gone over what he can do with companies, factories, also the nation's resources. And he can direct. Is there going to be resistance not just from these crazy-ass judges, but from these governors? Are they going to violate direct orders? There was another big fire. It's going on right now in L.A. Another fire. We're talking about loss of life. Last I heard, it was 25 deaths. Property and lives are being lost. Quality of life. And if they want Trump to declare a state of emergency to get federal funds, California, like you do every year to help balance your budget or make your deficit survivable on the backs of the entire nation. Watch what happens if you don't do it. Yeah, here's Trump. Here's a picture of Trump taking the oath with a purple tie. I haven't heard too many people talk about that, but you know his color of tie choices are important. Here's what I was going to put on my thumbnail. Instead of the rainbow flag burning, this is a pretty good meme right here. Speaks for itself. The NPC old guard. Whoa, where did that go? Come on back. Boop, there it is. The NPC old guard listening to Trump. If you're on Twitter, here is the new page, the official page for the President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump. America is back. 45th and 47th President of the United States, the golden age of America begins right now. Hi, Cosette. How are you? Diane says, yeah, moron and camel toe. Oh, they met with Newsom and Bass. Yeah, I'm sure that was a high-level meeting. Isn't this awful right here? A brand new citizen. We missed out. Daggone it, we missed out. We could have had a brand new citizen. They're suing over this. What rightfully Trump has put a stop to birthright citizenship by people who are citizens of another country and are in our country unlawfully. There is no birthright citizenship. It's just that damn simple. And the argument, what you're looking at the screen, she ain't going to pick no crops, okay? Like they always say, who's going to pick our crops? Who's going to do the jobs Americans won't do? She's not going to do anything but sit around and get a check. Here's a meme for you. Put this up on Meta, 1850s. But without slaves, who will pick my crops? 2020s. Without illegal migrants, who will pick my crops? Well, they ain't going to pick any crops, okay? The first thing they're going to, me no speaky, me no speak, me no, baby daddy, me no baby daddy, me hungry. And some limp-wristed liberal, let's give them everything they need while you got to get up and get to work in the morning. Because you speaky, right? So, yeah. Good for Trump putting an end to that real damn quick. What is this? Look at this crap. Did you see the video of this woman? Washington Post reporter. Arius or her, what's that name? I can't read that name, but anyway. Washington Post reporter sits there and films this woman. Me no get into my America. Okay, sorry, tough shit. And how long watching this woman put on this performance? Colin Rugg said, new 1 p.m. CBP 1 parole appointments find out that Trump shut the app down. Trump is also declaring a national emergency and is sending troops to the border. The invasion has been halted. I think Holman was on television saying they had arrested, I guess, yesterday from 12 to midnight, they got 380 of them. Horrible thing. One Border Patrol agent was shot in the head, of course, by somebody who shouldn't even be in this country. You don't hear a peep of that out of these holier-than-thou liberals. But we'll put an end to it. I haven't seen a war yet where there wasn't casualties. And it's sad to say, but it's true. What is this? Homeland Security. Memorandum for all members of the Department of Homeland Security. Let's see. Committed to eliminating the misuse of resources and ensuring DHS activities prioritize our national security. Directing the termination of all current membership on advisory committees with the DHS. Yeah, they put themselves on these advisory committees. Effective immediately. All these political appointments, all these grab bag slush fund politicos, get the hell out. Future committee activities will be focused solely on advancing our critical mission to protect the homeland, support DHS's strategic priorities. That's right. The ongoing advisory board members, you are welcome to reapply. Thank you for your service. Good luck with that. Good luck with your reapplication. Same as this thing here. Ain't going to be no reapplying for this. Libs of TikTok put this out. Fagan has been terminated over her failure to address border security and her excessive focus on DEI. And beat it. You're out of here. Like my friend used to say, you're out of here. What is this? The White House. Oh, this is what I was talking about with John Bolton. And I was saying John Bolton might have more problems down the road. When do birds sing, okay? Former National Security Advisor John R. Bolton after he was terminated from his White House position in 2019. The book was rife with sensitive information drawn from his time in government. The memoir's reckless treatment of sensitive information undermined the ability of future presidents to request and obtain candid advice on matters of national security from their staff. Publication also created a grave risk that classified material was publicly exposed. To remedy these abuses of the public trust, this order directs the revocation of any active or current security clearances held by 1. The former intelligence officials who engaged in misleading and inappropriate political coordination with the 2020 Biden presidential campaign. Boy, that's a pile of people. And 2, John R. Bolton. So, that's going to be a big pile of people. Not just the 51 goobers that signed that stupid memorandum. Yeah, Gary, I saw that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the way it used to. That's the old days, the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be. County governments protect migrants. That's true. Yeah, whatever happened to paper boys? Did I say hi to you, Angel? I'm not sure. Hi, Tammy. So, boy, a lot of people are going to bed wondering, well, am I gonna have my gravy job tomorrow? Or here's one meme to think about. Biden forgot to pardon himself, father. Arrest him. And there's a 15-second clip of Trump saying, yeah, did you notice Biden didn't pardon himself? I got the text to that. I'll get to that in a little bit. Wall Street Apes says, yes, Houston, Texas residents reporting ICE Black Hawk helicopters for missions that include searching for and transporting detained non-citizens. It's hard to see, but remember everybody was worried about the black helicopters? Well, there's one for you. People taking pictures of them right over their houses. They know where a lot of them are. And Wokeness put this out. Holy SH. And then that's it. Trump just revoked. Oh, this is big, folks. This is big. This was the beginning of the Great Society. Okay? I've talked about it in the past. This was like for that John F. Kennedy was going to uproot, rip apart, and that's why they did what they did to him and what they're trying to do to Trump. Anyway, Trump just revoked Executive Order 11246, signed by President LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, in 1965, which established government affirmative action, namely reverse racism. Reverse racism was done with an executive order. You see, you learn something new every day. And there is tapes and videos on YouTube about Johnson using the as Trump says in some videos, the N-word, which he talks about nuclear. But you know what Johnson was using, and he was saying, it won't take much, just a couple of $100 a month. and they'll be voting for us the next 200 years. How many of y'all heard that tape? That's what ushered in the welfare state, the beginning of the end of the family structure in black communities and big cities all across the country. Get out. I don't need the daddy. I got Uncle Sam's going to help me. I'm going to be a part of Uncle Sam's harem. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to get a check every month. Oh, I already put that one up. Hold on. Hitting the wrong buttons here. Here's a little something from the Babylon Bee. Nation actually pretty impressed that Biden lived all 4 years of his presidency. Did he really now? I don't know. Yeah, it's getting real fun. Getting rid of that reverse racism. You know, Sadie joined part of these advisory committees. And every now and then she gets notices, you know, I guess. She's part of the World Cat Conference. And I don't know how she gets them to upload notices to my phone, but I keep her up to date what's going on. But the President Cat, we have to dispel these stereotypes about cats. We need to. And then he pushes his own notes off the podium. Just a little joke. And what is it with them pushing stuff, knocking stuff over all the time? But you gotta love them. Trump put this out. I mean, she got in a fight with a leaf. She got in a fight with a leaf on linoleum. She'll just go crazy with it. But anyway, Trump said, I'm not looking to hurt Russia. I love the Russian people and always had a very good relationship with President Putin. And this despite the radical left's Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. We must never forget that Russia helped us win the Second World War. 60 million. Bill Gates is probably going, oh, wow, hey, that's great. All of that being said, I'm going to do Russia, whose economy is failing, and President Putin a very big favor. Settle now and stop this ridiculous war. It's only going to get worse. If we don't make a deal, and soon, I have no other choice but to put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States and various other participating countries. Let's get this war, which never would have started if I were president, over with. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. And the easy way is always better. It's time to make a deal. So the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax is getting stomped out. You notice we get people in the chats that are still having problems with Trump. They don't bring that up anymore. I mean, it's just asinine. And this is Zelenskyy. Newsweek put this up. Trump Jr. commented on the statement that Zelenskyy is not going to Trump's inauguration because, quote, he doesn't want to. The funniest thing is that he informally asked for an invitation 3 times. This is Don Jr. And each time he was refused. Now he acts like as if he himself decided not to go. What a weirdo. So, Mr. In Vogue, everybody wanted to have him at their cocktail parties, throw billions of dollars at him. He's not in vogue anymore. He's not in with the in crowd. He doesn't go where the in crowd goes. Hey, God, I couldn't get the video of this, but remember that video I had of a drone that was heading toward a vehicle, and at the last second, the drone operator noticed an old lady going to throw her trash in a dumpster. And luckily, he saw her and stopped the drone. The woman was totally unaware. She was on the front lines of a war zone and still was trying to be a good citizen and put her trash in a bombed out apartment. But anyway, Ukrainian armed forces uses his own child as cover on the front lines in the Donetsk direction. Now, I can't show any of this because it's you'll know why when I read it to you. The Russian soldier managed calculation, detected the movement of an SUV of the Ukrainian Armed Forces command staff. A decision was made within the group to eliminate it. 2 people jumped out of the car. The driver ran away from the car and fell nearby, and the officer got out with a child in his arms and turned to face the drone. The operator managed to turn away at the last moment. So, the good side of the proficiency of these drones is that there is, in certain circumstances, the capability. Once you launch a mortar, okay, or a anti-tank missile, or it's going, baby. You can't pull it back. And if you pull the trigger and after you do that, you see an old woman heading to the dumpster. Oh my God, too late. You see somebody with a kid in their arms. Oh my God, it's too late. But with these drones, you at least get a couple of seconds of the ability to make a decision. Trump announced the start of a trade war with his neighbors, Canada and Mexico. Now, this is Eastern Services News, okay? He also threatened to start a trade war with European Union and the BRICS countries. I think this was put out just before Trump put out his statement about Russia. Trump announced that he plans to impose a 25% tariffs on all goods from Canada and Mexico starting February 1st. The U.S. may impose trade tariffs of at least 100% on the BRICS countries, Trump said. He also said the U.S. could impose tariffs on European goods to prevent this from happening. Trump demanded that Europe buy more oil and gas from the U.S. Trump also confirmed that he will require NATO countries to spend at least 5% of GDP on defense. We're talking barrels and barrels of money, okay? Just that deal he announced yesterday where the little guy was up there saying, we're going to put $100 billion in because we believe in Donald Trump. And Trump said, why don't you make it $200 billion? Well, I don't know. We'll try. We'll see. We'll try. Well, guess what he said yesterday? $500 billion of investment. Between the people that he had on stage yesterday concerning this AI deal and pulling out of the climate accords, we're looking at $2 trillion in just one day. Trump said he had investments lined up. He said maybe by the end of the week we'll be looking at another $6 trillion. That has nothing to do with tariffs. You put tariffs on top of that. To give you an example of the $2 trillion stimulus, $1 trillion taxes were sent out. Stimulus checks were sent out to eligible recipients. $1 trillion got everybody $2,400. $1 trillion. Remember, Trump is talking big money, folks. He knows big money. He no dummy. One of the first executive orders signed by Trump was to suspend all U.S. foreign aid programs. All U.S. foreign aid programs for 90 days. How much is that going to save us? To assess their consistency with U.S. national interests and foreign policy goals. Currently, Ukraine is one of the main recipients of aid from the United States. I'm just going through the articles here real quick so we can. Shortly after President Trump, I didn't want to get that video of Biden. Shortly after President Trump was sworn in, his administration shut down CBP-1, a phone app used by migrants hoping to enter the United States. The Biden-era app was part of a process that allowed nearly 1 million migrants to enter the U.S. at legal border crossings. Can you imagine that? All they had to do was make up a name and show up, and they'd let you in. 270,000 migrants were waiting in Mexico, hoping to use the app to enter the United States. Well, not anymore. History, it's over. Trump revokes Biden removal of Cuba from U.S. state sponsors of terrorism. Okay, list. Trump reversed Biden's January 14th decision. Why would Biden do that? 6 days before Trump takes office. He returned Cuba to the state sponsors list, okay? Reuters reports. It was Trump who added Cuba to the list in 21. The Cuban president called the U.S. president's decision an act of mockery and insult. Well, that communist regime is going to be done within the 48-month window. That's why time is of the essence. We got to get this stuff done. They're going to be out of here anyway. The Cuban president called an act of mockery and insult. Biden's decision last week came after Havana agreed to release more than 500 prisoners from its jails. Oh, probably like the Mariel boat lift, people taking people out of nut houses and sending them to America. Trump is not confident that the ceasefire in Gaza will last. CNN, Commie News Network, I'm not sure. This is not our war. It's their war, the president said from the Oval Office. He noted after 15 months of bombing, Gaza had become a place of mass destruction and would have to be rebuilt from scratch. CNN notes that the peace deal with Hamas left extremist right-wing Israeli politicians unhappy, revealing that the ceasefire was a capitulation. Netanyahu said both President Trump and President Biden fully support Israel's right to resume hostilities if Israel concludes that Phase B negotiations are futile. Let us recall that today Israel announced the beginning of an Israeli counter-terrorist operation in the West Bank of the Jordan River that the Palestinian government controls. So it's touchy. But we got some hostages back. This is the one I was talking about. Trump announced the creation of Stargate Company in the U.S., which will invest $500 billion in the development of AI. The project will be backed by OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle. It will help create about 100,000 jobs. The data centers will be built in Texas. The issue of further U.S. arms supplies to Kiev is under consideration, according to Trump. He also called the introduction of new sanctions against Russia likely, but only if the Russian leadership does not agree to negotiations on Ukraine. So he's not showing favoritism or letting anybody off the hook. Hi, Tracy, how you doing? Tammy, how you doing? I'm just looking through the chats real quick. So I'm looking to see if we get any more people that want to have a little back and forth like we had last night. Wasn't that fun? If people come in with different views, it's cool. And we have a good discussion. You know, it helps to our discussions. Here you go. The Pentagon has fired or suspended everyone who is responsible for Ukrainian journalist Roman Bokla, who is currently in the United States, reported. Everyone who is responsible for Ukraine. You don't hear this from Reuters and CNN. The Pentagon is getting shaken up big time. Everybody responsible for Ukraine has been fired or suspended, or they will be transferred to other positions somewhere. A complete reboot. So there will definitely be changes. A new format of relations, he wrote on Facebook, following a meeting with journalists from the Washington Post. Earlier today, Secretary of State Rubio said that ending the war in Ukraine would be a key point of U.S. policy. Nothing wrong with ending wars, as long as there isn't what happened to Germany, where they starved the country out and started World War II over it. But anyway, Ukraine. This is from Viktor Orban, which we know. Viktor Orban is a big friend of Donald Trump's, right? What did he say? He said Ukraine has lost a fifth of its country and their industry lies in ruins. They cannot provide for their own existence, but they behave as if they are able to dictate their terms to Europe. In fact, they are in the position of a petitioner, but one must also know how to ask. In other words, they're being rude and demanding when they have no position to be. Has withdrawn all applications for the transit of goods through the interests of Ukraine. I'm not going to try to name those towns. All shipments of weapons and military equipment to Ukraine have been stopped at NATO bases in Europe. According to preliminary estimates alone, we're talking about several thousand tons of weapons and military equipment. All Pentagon employees involved in arms supplies to Kiev have been fired or suspended. All Pentagon employees involved in arms supplies to Kiev have been fired or suspended. A large-scale audit of the misuse of funds for aid to Ukraine begins. Do you hear what they're saying? No more failed audits for the Pentagon. We want accountability for the billions of dollars. We want to know why all those weapons are showing up in Africa and other places. Trump orders his special representative Kellogg to resolve the conflict in Ukraine in 100 days, according to the Wall Street Journal. Almost no one thinks that Kellogg will be able to stop the Ukrainian conflict in 100 days, writes the Wall Street Journal. It is noted that Trump intends to personally control the course of the negotiation process on Ukraine. He's going to put his thumb behind somebody's ear to put an end to it. Panama, what are they doing? They file a complaint with the UN. Big deal. Over Trump's threats. In his inaugural speech on Monday, we're failing to properly manage the Panama Canal, and the United States would regain control over it. He has previously spoken of his intention to return the canal to American control and did not rule out the use of force. Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino, in turn, assured sovereignty and ownership of the Panama Canal will remain with Panama. Yeah, well, you can complain to the UN all you want, because if they don't pay the bills, they're going to be having problems too. They break their treaties with us, they'll be having problems too. Big problems. No more Mr. Nice Guys. Embassies and outposts. Fly stars and stripes only. No more pride or BLM flags. And BLM flags alongside Old Glory. Boy, that had to puke you out. The media reports that Trump has banned the hanging of Alphabet and BLM flags on government buildings and embassies and military bases around the world. I bet they were doing it. The department's order does not directly mention these flags. It states that only the U.S. flag, as well as some military symbols, are now permitted to be flown on government buildings. And since under Biden it was often in practice to add other flags, such as the alphabet and the BLM, the media interpret this as a ban on these symbols. The Washington Free Beacon writes about this, reporting that it received a copy of the document. Let us recall that Trump previously issued a decree that only two genders are recognized in the United States, male and female. I tell you, people overseas and in other continents reading this stuff probably can't believe that the President of the United States has to do a decree such as that about genders. But what are we looking at here? I don't know. It's Greek to me. No, not Greek. It's Chinese to me. Underwater submarine. And got, what is that, a robot? No. Chinese scientists have developed the world's first drone that can be launched from a submarine and can both fly and swim underwater, the South China Morning Post reports. The blades that the aircraft uses for flight fold up in the water in 5 seconds, and instead, special propellers provide movement. What we talked about, was it last night or night before? The hypersonic new weapon that they came out with. So we got to get that AI going, folks. Always remember, garbage in, garbage out on AI. It's only as good as the people that are putting the information in. That's why it's always good to have books, read books, and because you can tell when AI is for when people are trying to find out something and it's right there in their phone. They don't have to get up and go find a book. They can talk to their phone and it can give a proper answer back. The only way you can get that is by not putting garbage in. They won't get garbage out. And if you're informed anyway, you'll know if it's off base, off kilter, because you have a basic knowledge of things like oil is organic, trees breathe out oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide, trees breathe in carbon dioxide, basic crap like that. An Afghan man in Bavaria, Germany, where the Germs live, attacked a group from kindergarten and STABB'd 2 people. According to the publication, the incident took place in the German city of Aschaffenburg in the Chantal Park in the city center. Several people, including a group of children from a kindergarten, were injured. Okay, and I can't say those words. Initially, the police reported 3 adults and 1 child. Later, law enforcement agencies reported that 2 people died as a result. One of them was a 2-year-old child, and the other was a 41-year-old man. And it was a migrant who was supposed to self-deport because they were denied asylum. 2 years after the date, they were ordered to leave. Good news, folks. United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District of New York. John Durham appointed interim United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. The Punisher. Let us see. People are blowing their bowels in New York over this. Enough said. Colin Rugg put this out. Justin, U.S. Transportation Command has been told to prepare military aircraft for migrant deportation flights. Trump told the military to prepare 10,000 active duty troops to the border. Don't be surprised if you see Marines dropped off by helicopter, said one official. We've been told to treat this like a national emergency because it's been declared a national emergency. It's like that because that's the way it is. The initial wave of troops being deployed is 1,500, including 500 Marines from Camp Pendleton in San Diego, California. Son of John Durham, Angel says. Oh, okay. Like father, like son. Clandestine said, this seems significant. Trump hints that Biden is deeply involved in criminality. This is that quote from Trump I was talking about the pardons. Trump said, this guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him. A sad thing. That's an interesting choice of words. Kamala is now blaming her husband for her loss. Kamala blames husband Doug Emhoff. And Doug Emhoff's marriage is reportedly straining, with sources saying Emhoff's past controversies. Presidential campaign. Oh, it's always somebody's fault, right? Where's that video? I had a video of them getting along just fine. Where is it? Right here. Everybody was getting along just fine. Oh, my goodness. How long to have my mic off? FEC's filings reveal Trump national whatever. The whole family, this woman. The woman here on the right gave several $1,000s to Kamala, thousands to Obama, thousands to Biden, and thousands to Elizabeth Warren. Very seldom have that happen to me anymore, but sometimes I do. Let's spread democracy to the Middle East, they say. Child marriage now legal in Iraq after new bill passes. Courts can now rule over cases according to their interpretation of Islamic law. 9 years old, right? So, like what happened with the child GROOMERs, all right? Over in the UK, what the hell did you expect? Okay? It's in their book. Okay to do that stuff, all right? So when it happens in your country and people get their heads lopped off in the streets, women get beaten for not wearing the right kind of rags and coverings over their faces. They get beat up in the streets. What did you expect? Breaking Trump National Cathedral, Marianne Budd claims to champion the poor and decries the appalling disparity between the rich and the poor. Property records show she lives in a $2 million plus colonial mansion with 6 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms in a leafy D.C. neighborhood. Isn't that nice? Oh, guess what today was, folks? Today was happy 20th anniversary to Melania. There she is. With Donald Trump 20 years ago. 20 years ago today. The first couple. 2 times in our nation's history, they became the first couple. Trump orders communications blackout. Oh, for HHS, CDC, NIH, and the FDA till at least February 1st. Excuse me while I sip my coffee. Boy, that was good. This is to give RFK Jr. time to take over the messaging for our corrupt health agencies. This was clandestine. He said it's not uncommon. They did the same thing during Trump's first administration. But HHS officials halt CDC reports and health communications for Trump team review. In other words, only for horses, right? Remember that? Here, what's Posobiec got to say? Suspect in the red room of a Border Patrol agent was an H-1B worker with an expired visa. This is the one that happened the day Trump took office, yesterday. The suspect fired on 2 U.S. Border Patrol agents during a vehicle stop in Vermont. All those limousine liberals up there, if you're conservative in Vermont, I feel bad for you, but keep fighting back. Maybe this will wake some of these idiots up. Left one agent, lost his life. A second offender, pew pew, is a female. What do you expect when you let all this in? Here we go. And I've said it 100 times, maybe not 100, 50 times on this broadcast. And we got the big creators are coming out finally and saying it. The jurisdiction clause of the 14th Amendment clearly excludes illegal aliens and visa holders, visitors, who are still citizens of their home nations. No birthright citizenship is extended to non-citizens. I've said it, I've said it, I've said it. Jurisdictional interest. It's in the Constitution. 14th Amendment. Oh, here's a good one from Citizen Free Press. Fairfax County, Virginia is facing a $300 million deficit. I can't believe it's just $300 million. It's probably from the school budget. After its school spent $142 million teaching migrant children English last year. $142 million, up 50% from a few years prior. Oh, so they only used to spend $70 million a year teaching migrants English in one state. Consultants have now been hired to ask if people would rather have police, fire, or parks cut to resolve the deficit. Once they get voter ID and everything squared away, states like Virginia will straighten out. They'll straighten out. Half of them are in holding seats they don't even deserve. Here we go with the so-called bishop. There she is. She's still on the screen on the right. I meant left. My right, your left. Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone, not compelling or smart. She failed to mention a large number of illegal migrants that came to the country and cost people their lives. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring. One, she is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. Amen to that, Donald. Amen to that. Let me see. Let me see. Here is speaking of the Pentagon. This is the official portraits all around, switching out picture of the commander-in-chief. Yeah, boy. I didn't see. Was there a picture of Millie up there? They got to take that out. That's got to go. Here. This young lady likes pink. She got pink walls and a pink shirt on. But anyway, let's see what she has to say.
President Trump's inauguration speech will go down as one of the greatest in history. Mark my words. When that man stood at that podium and addressed the former administration, as well as the former presidents, and said, "Welcome to the golden age," I already knew he was in for a show. He came out of his mouth and said, "God saved me so that I can make America great again." Baby, I felt that in my soul. Call me crazy, but it already felt like a new America. It already felt like a new day. The fact that he addressed so many of the American people everyday concerns, even when it came down to the North Carolina situation, was so impactful and so powerful. in addition to acknowledging Martin Luther King or Martin Luther King Day, because I'm sure a lot of people was not expecting that of him. But yet again, that is what you call a true leader. And the fact that Carrie Underwood carried that inauguration on her back when the music went out, baby, she did her big one with that one. That's how you do it, Carrie Underwood. Acapella, baby, and she did her big one with that. I don't care what nobody say. That inauguration was absolutely immaculate from the beginning to the end. Trump, welcome home. You did your big one with this one.
Yeah, it was a little hard to hear, but that was a good video. I mean, she said it from the heart. And that when Trish Yearwood sung the national anthem a cappella, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Somebody took a copy of the doorbell camera at Mar-a-Lago. Did you all get to see the doorbell camera footage at Mar-a-Lago? Here. There you go. You in there, Donald Trump? You in there? We want to come talk to you. Ha ha ha! Here's Jim Acosta. I've been waiting for it to see if they would put him in the White House press pool, but I don't think he's even allowed around there anymore. But anyway, here's a quick video. Him getting his chops smacked.
Is covered on CNN. What you're saying, this is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah. This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now.
More people watching the Cartoon Network. Look at these idiots. And this is Dana Bash. Now look how she tries to steer the conversation. Oh, you mean people that are not criminals are going to get deported? She can't get it through her head if they're here illegally. Illegal means criminal, Dana. Illegal means criminal.
And so what is happening as we speak is limited to those with criminal records?
That's the target of this operation. But like I said many times, in places like sanctuary cities where we can't arrest a bad person in the jail, we would like to have access to the jail to arrest a criminal alien in the safety and security of a county jail, which is safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. But when you release a public safety threat out of a sanctuary jail and won't give us access to him, that means we got to go to the neighborhood and find him. And we will find him. But when we find him, he may be with others. Others that don't have a criminal conviction but are in the country illegally, they will be arrested too. Because we're not going to strike, and this is a difference between the last administration and this administration. ICE is going to enforce the immigration law. There's nothing in the INA, the Immigration Nationality Act, says you got to be convicted of a serious crime in order to be removed from this country. So there's going to be more collateral arrests in sanctuary cities because they forced us to go in the community and find the guy we're looking for.
Let me just make sure that I understand what you're saying, because at first you said that the first targets are those with criminal records, but you are also saying that those who are undocumented in the U.S., also who don't have criminal records, people who are working in their communities, maybe even have spouses who are American citizens, they could be swept up with ICE today as well?
What I'm telling you is when we go find our priority legally, we're going to take enforcement action against them. We're going to enforce the immigration law.
What happens then? So the ICE officers gets an individual or a set of individuals and apprehends them. What next? What do these ICE officers do with them? Because in some cases, and you know this far better than I, they haven't been deported in the past because their country of origin won't take them.
Well, what happens after arrest, they're taken to an ICE office and they're processed and put in detention. While they're in detention, ICE officers work on travel documents. The host country sends travel documents saying, yeah, this is our citizen, this is our national. then we make flight arrangements. So they could be in detention from a few days for a few weeks until that removal was made happen.
What if the host country doesn't want them, as has happened in the recent past?
We have various plans. We have various plans. Other countries are willing to take them. We have third safe country removals. So that's something we're working through. But I think you're going to see less of the recalcitrant countries. Countries won't take their citizens back under this president, because this president has vowed that these countries will take them back. So I'll leave that up to the White House, but there will be negotiations with those countries who are pushing back on recalcitrancy, and they will be removed.
Yeah, they use the term undocumented instead of illegal to skirt the law, violate the law themselves. It's like them saying that he's not a shoplifter, he's an unpaid customer. He's an unpaid customer. So, and if she'd have been paying attention, Trump said what he does with countries that doesn't cooperate, that don't take their people back. Okay, they'll lose their foreign aid immediately, plus they'll get sanctions put on them, so they better wake the hell up and get with the damn program. That's simple. Let's see what's going on in the chats. Yeah, 1984 doublespeak, that's right. I hope, I didn't even mention during the whole broadcast, I hope you all give me a thumbs up. Helps the video get around. Yes, it does. Yes, indeed, it do. Newsmax. What is up with this? A now anti-Trump woman jailed for her actions at the Capitol said she refused President Trump's pardon. Ex-MAGA granny refuses Trump's January 6th pardon. I wouldn't worry about this if that was from CNN, but it's from Newsmax. But what do they call that? Stockholm syndrome? When somebody's sitting in jail and they play along with their captors? Maybe it's Stockholm syndrome. Holy cow. U.S. House of Representatives approved Lake and Riley Act with a vote of 263-156. This will be the first bill of his second term to sign into law. Donald Trump's first bill. We did it, Lakin. I want to know who the 156 were that voted against the Lake and Riley Act. I bet they look like that thing on the left. That's why I put her over there. She's left. A lefty. She needs to be left behind. Holy ace. Here we go. Wall Street Journal reporting that the Trump administration are preparing an executive order that would halt U.S. funding being used for gain of function research. Trump and his team know about and the rest of that is BIOLABs in Ukraine. Trump order seeks to stop virus research that critics have linked to CVID. You connect the dots, folks. What did we read about people getting fired and removed that were dealing weapons over in Ukraine? Okay? Shutting down the funding for these labs. It's coming together. Coming together. MSDNC is even worse than CNN. They shouldn't even have a right to broadcast. Only in America. They're reporting that CNN is getting ready to lay off hundreds of employees. I heard over 200 as Trump-era restructuring begins. CNN is set to fire Thursday hundreds as the network prepares to restructure itself for the second term of Donald Trump. Nobody wants to tune in and sit there and listen to your same drumbeat, horse shit, and lies and slander. That's why SpongeBob is getting more views than you clowns, okay? I don't even know the theme song, SpongeBob. Here's one more from Paul Sperry about the woke bishop at yesterday's prayer service tried to shame Trump into not deporting illegal aliens, runs a, quote, sanctuary ministry at the D.C. National Cathedral that hides, quote, our immigration brothers and sisters who risk detention and deportation from ICE. Oh, really? How you doing, Phil? Guess what, folks? Didn't Tom Homan say that's a felony? So if this is true, right, her running a sanctuary ministry that hides our immigration and brothers and sister, aiding and abetting, right? Let's see what happens with that hag. So, anyway, folks, let's see. I want to play a little something as we go out for the evening. I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. Or if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. I could play about this Harry Sisson creep, but I'm not going to. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this. And I'm going to cover up the hag. Okay? And I hope you enjoy this little clip on the way out. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me tonight. I should be broadcasting tomorrow. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And I want to thank my new subscribers. Welcome aboard. And I want to thank everybody to help me on Buy Me a Coffee. I have a link in the description because this is a totally viewer-supported endeavor here on UTizzle. The channel's not monetized or anything. But anyway, I should be broadcasting tomorrow night. We shall see. So enjoy this little clip. You all have a great evening. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I don't know if it's an ability or if you have people quitting. And if they would have held out longer, they would have been successful. They never made it because they were quitters. Never, ever quit.